Forward to that best of 3 up next, but for now it is time for the Brazilian derby. We're heading on to Dust2, Imperial against paiN.
Let's go. All right, well, Imperial off on the T side here, nice and early on, sizing up a bit of controller tunnels, just a 1-1-3. Looks like they're going to be playing this round a little slower, see if the CTs are going to be pushing, first listening for some info outside long. There goes the Xbox smoke, but Skullz is going to take contact in lower.
I do like this setup here for paiN. Obviously, Skullz with the dualies, he can put out a lot of damage with those, but not if he loses his head straight away. Good start here for boltz and for Imperial. Nice little tags straight on through. Does bring it back to the 4-on-4.
Yeah, paiN trading one back straight away, and you can see Imperial, they want to go for catwalk. They want to go take control over there. Vinny still sizing up upper tunnels, waiting to see if one of the CTs is going to make a push, and you can see paiN, they're poking, they're prodding through mid doors, seeing if they can pick a T on the cross, but they haven't quite caught one.
Yeah, slow and steady wins the race. Still a lot of util in the back pocket right now for Imperial to make an execute or make a take on the A-bomb site work.
Yeah. Taking their time. Out comes the exit. You're going to get the smoke over towards CT and a couple flashes over the top as the T starts scaling out.
Bigu going to have the lion's share of the job to do. We'll have some assistance here from Fer, but he might be under a bit of immense pressure. Zevi finding the double already. That's 3 for the round. Inevitably, it's starting to go quicker and quicker the way of paiN. boltz, the last man standing for Imperial, has picked up those dualies, putting them to good use, but surely the reload time is going to take a very, very short while to get sorted out, and maybe now there's a chance. Oh, dearie me. It's gone wrong for paiN. How did they let him get that reload off?
There's absolutely no way he should be getting away with that. Just playing the angles. You can see paiN, they're not impressed with that one at all. Zevi was putting absolutely everything into that round, multi-fragging up a storm, but boltz just comes alive on the site. Absolutely beautiful to see, and that's what you want if you're Imperial. A T-pistol that seemed like it was falling apart at the seams. They get it, and now they can start rolling with that momentum on the T side of Dust, but paiN aren't going to let that one slip. They're going to go straight in there with the force buy, and they've even got an A1S on Bigu.
Yeah, very impressive buy considering the circumstances. Double scout out there as well, which we know is quite a potent setup on a map like Dust2.
Someone's gone without a weapon here. Someone's gone with the USP, unfortunately, but look at that. A1S already get involved in the action.
I tell you what, if you're going to buy the A1S, then you need to make it worthwhile. They have been able to do that. Skullz needs to chime in again and does. It's a 2-for-2 exchange thus far, but the weapons are starting to dwindle on the CT side. Whoa. That's a nice push from hardzao.
How has he got away with that, Jordan? Unbelievable. Just that 90-degree flick, the raw adjustment. Bigu's up here on the site with the USP sweating bullets as Imperial just slowly walking up on ramp.
Yeah, fallen and boltz. Need to try to sort this one out already. A bink goes through onto boltz. It's not looking good. Imperial, they won the pistol, but maybe they're not going to win the follow-up round. The force buy from paiN is going to be a little bit too much, and the scoreline equalized at 1 apiece.
Yeah, you see this all the time. You know, in the current meta, these second-round buys are so devastating to deal with as the T side. You just instantly get your money reset back to square one right off the bat. No loss bonus at all to play with, and then you got a counter force buy, and if that doesn't work out well, it can take a while for the T-side economy to recover before you can actually start playing the style of Counter-Strike that, you know, you play in, scrim out, getting all the util going. So they're going to have a little bit of time to have a think about this. paiN have obviously got to put everything into this next round after just converting the force. And Imperial, they got to make do with, you know, sub 2k, most of them, you would imagine. Down to just pistols and armor, maybe chuck a scout in there or something, and they can have a think about what kind of creative strat they want to go for to try to make that work.
Well, since we've got a little bit of time here, what are your thoughts on the map that we're actually playing? Dust2, obviously, I think a bit of a bold choice for Imperial to go towards. They had the option of Nuke or Dust2, and we know paiN is quite at home on this map. If you look back in the history, they've taken scalps like Vitality, like Sprout, teams that are quite well respected within the Counter-Strike ecosystem. So I think they're very happy with the map choice we've got.
I would say so. We'll see how it unfolds though. Pretty nice looking buy here for paiN. Full util, no util at all here for Imperial. There is no nuance in this round at all. This is a split pick with the Deegs. Going to try and see if they can get some headshots, and that's going to start to pull apart the CT rotations when they find an entry somewhere, if they do. Whereas paiN, they're just taking their time here.
I just want to point out something. boltz right now is 8-1 out of 2 rounds. No one else on Imperial has even got a single frag. So he's kind of carrying the torch at the moment for his squad. Needs a bit of assistance. Unfortunately, he's only got the D to play with in this round.
Imperial being given a lot of room to work with. paiN just playing very, very pent back, 2-1-2, leaving the middle of the map open, letting Imperial go and take catwalk control. And after taking catwalk, Imperial now starting to walk back towards B, and I'd imagine it's going to be some kind of a B contact in here. So we'll see if there's any reactive utility out of hardzao. He's still got that molly to play with. They still got both smokes.
MP9 only for PKL, but for the most part, no head armor across the Imperial roster, barring, of course, Cello. Could still be quite effective.
paiN are going to get locked out here if they try to force B, because you can see hardzao still got that smoke. He could have thrown that over to PKL, who could just drop it back on the choke point immediately, and this is just going to really run down the clock for Imperial, who have got to force it.
I mean, they've even still got an incend over toward that B bomb site, so if that's where they're going to end up heading, and that incend comes down in the next 10-15 seconds or so, they are really going to be running that clock down, and this is not looking good, I have to say, for Imperial. hardzao does have the gun out, but here's that incendiary we talked about, and now you're just running through a wall of flames, and PKL can just sit behind the wall, wait so patiently, and make the round look easy. Yes, Fer got the pick onto hardzao, but the round is over, and you've only lost one gun on the CT side.
That's just perfect from paiN. That is exactly how you want to play around like that. They just sat back in a 2-1-2. They held all their util. They didn't give any angles to the Ts. This is definitely something that the Oceanic teams could learn something from, to be honest. I mean, everyone's wide peeking Deagles, getting their heads snapped off, you know, losing against the pistols, losing against the force buys. That was just beautiful from paiN. Just by the numbers Counter-Strike, timed the Ts out with the util on the top of B tunnels, and after winning the force and then that after winning their force and then the anti-force against the T side, they're in a phenomenal position now going forward on CT.
Certainly are, and that's a very nice nade to start things off. Not only that, but this is a great opportunity for paiN to just build that money up. 5 guns alive. Couple of kills go over the way of the SMG as well. It could not be a better start to the map here for paiN.
100%. They're in the pole position right now. They've got a great economy built up on the CT side. Now they can decide how they want to progress from here. They can start mixing the AWP in. They can even go for double AWP because they've got the economy to support it at this point. And then looking at Imperial now, after a bit of a shocker, they got a bit of an upset on that pistol. They weren't expecting to win, but things have turned around since then. They got to start to grind back into the game. Somewhat limited util, especially in terms of the flashes. And you can now see Zevi's on the AWP as well.
Big, long contest out from both Imperial and paiN. It starts off nicely for Imperial. Vinny getting that early pick, but that is going to result in paiN just taking a back step, going back up to A, chilling out.
I'm keen to see how Imperial resolve this round. They've got no flashes left at all. They've just got a couple of smokes, so they could do wall of smokes across the A site and just try to get up across, but they can't flash over car as they try to stagger up into sky. So that could be a bit of an issue. There's that pixel smoke from outside long towards doors. Just make the CTs nervous about some cat control, but you can see Bigu's up there. He's got info. He's going to play off the flash of his opponent, but Patience from Fallen, well aware that the CTs might want to make a play, and he punishes.
Yeah, might just come down to Zevi right now with that AWP in his hands here on A. He's the last man defending, at least up on the site itself, especially now that he's lost the only other member in the near vicinity. But it's still possible to pull something off, pull something magical off. Not going to happen this time. hardzao, the last alive, he'll just look to save.
That's a good round from Imperial. They get that first pick on the long contest, and then they wait for the CTs to aggress in the 5 versus 4. They punish that short push, then just straight up into that A site. Nothing special about it, but it's the first of probably these 2 gun rounds that they're going to need to start to just chip down that CT economy and get their way back into the game. And at that point, you know, if it's 3 apiece, that's where they can start to roll with the momentum and stay ahead of the 8 ball. For juggling the AWP away, just making sure the CTs won't have access to that, but they've got plenty of money to rebuy if they need to.
Feels like a bit of a reserved start to the game. I think with the exception maybe of the pistol round, we haven't seen anything too explosive just yet. Haven't had to really get into the nitty-gritty. It's kind of been a case where both teams feel like they've been running through their paces, feeling each other out.
Yeah, but that means they're playing good Counter-Strike. You know, things aren't getting messy. They're just very much playing the 5v4s correctly, playing things by the numbers, holding the util where you'd want to see it. No force buy upsets, no craziness. That's the beautiful entry from Vinny, straight out long. Finds that little timing where the flashes aren't coming over from the CTs, and he even gets a full spray off. He's not even wide at all, just catches that player rotating past long.
Well, could be a big round coming up here. paiN, if they're able to win it, start to continue
That's big.
Where they left off, and that's a great pick. Fallen. He's playing whack-a-mole with Zevi. He's coming off worse.
He is the mole, unfortunately, and he's been whacked. Zevi That's a big impact pick for paiN. Now in this 5-on-4, they've got long control. And Imperial, little bit of tunnels control first, still keeping tabs on long, seeing if anyone's going to push into bedroom. Imperial very nervous about that lowers push. But this is nice, little tower boost. Zevi could get involved in the action again for another pick.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to work out, but the shot goes away from its intended target.
Imperial sizing up a mid.
Here's another one. Zevi's all over the place at the moment, just going to creep his way into mid, and this time he bites off more than he can chew. Cello puts him down. Info for paiN, but maybe not the info they would have wanted.
And Big Oo's over here towards the side of ramp. He's got a Molotov to play with. Very well timed to just hold this back for the time being. But this gives Imperial a little bit of time to set up. Get ready for this A exit. And it comes.
Just one counter flash right now for paiN to work with. Big Oo's going to flash himself out from Goose. Cannot land the shots. And that's the A site cracked open. Pretty quick smart from Imperial. Do have a couple of CTs relatively close by, but they're not going to try any funny business just yet. Bomb does go down. Advantage Imperial, 4-on-3. Time working in their favor as well now. But paiN is sticking around, hoping to maybe find themselves a cheeky pick here, make this one possible. Clearly, it's not. Oh, it's a nice shot from Skullz, but unfortunately, a little too late.
And Imperial did exactly what they needed to. They started off that round 4 versus 5, and it's very high percentage Dust2 to just go out middle, try to catch, that CT rotating over towards the B side of the map. This time it was Zevi trying to stay mobile, look for a pick in middle, further extend that advantage. Imperial dropping a couple of guns on the way out. That's going to get a bit expensive. And Skullz, yeah, I mean, that's quite a cerebral play. They know that they picked Fallen there at the start of the round. He knows where he can go and get access safely to an AWP that he can throw over to Zevi. And I want that man to have it. He's been looking pretty nice.
As indeed. Say. Yeah, good opening pick for paiN in that last round at the very least. Didn't quite come together in the end.
Just good fundamentals just across their placement. Cello's all over that, the new addition. But for anyone who's a fan of Brazilian CS, definitely no stranger is Cello. He's been playing in many Brazilian teams for the longest time, even over in NA for a bit.
Zevi going to give it another crack on that mid-door peak, but won't be spotting anyone this time around.
Just the pistols around the AWP. Imperial's done a great job of recovering from that force by loss. Very much back in the game at this point, but this is a round where they really need to build up their money so that they can continue to buy fourth on this B side.
Quite a few players stacked over toward this B bomb site, and it could be problematic for Imperial if they head in that direction. Already, though, they have spotted that AWP, and that might funnel them back over toward the A site. Fallen's having a look into mid, seeing if he can catch off anyone rotating through, but no one giving him an inkling just yet on the side of Imperial. Zevi has made his way over toward long, though. Good spot to be in right now by the looks of things.
He needs to pick a side to fight, because paiN at the moment, they're kind of in between a rock and a hard place with no long control. That's a cute boost. Skullz over the top of the smoke. That is cheeky. Imperial caught in transition. That's good info for the CTs as well.
They don't have a lot of time left to work with either. Big Oo's going to spot so many out. He's got 2 kills with a USP. Skullz chimes in with 1 as well on the Deagle, and that might well be the round falling apart for Imperial. They've lost to pistols. Yes, I'll grant you, there is an AWP. It did nothing. It was the USP really that did the damage.
He was there for moral support. He was catching all the USP frags with his telescope. Cello now, absolutely nothing to do, just seeing if he can hold on to the AK, and that is a big win for paiN. You can see they've already got like 2K in the bank account. They're going to hold on to the AWP. Let's see if they can try to salvage any rifles. Cello's trying to protect them at the moment, trying to make sure that they don't get their hands on the AKs. PKL's found one in lowers, and that's a big boon to the CT economy.
Something which they needed as well. It was getting a little bit touch and go for a moment there for paiN, but they've pulled ahead again, maybe a little sooner than you would have thought.
Yeah. That's big. Biggest error.
That's disgusting.
Ringing everyone's bells in mid. Skullz with 2 on the dig as well on that cat angle. That's not an easy shot to hit. Is the force buy in from Imperial pretty limited in terms of the util? Only got the 3 sets, and they've only got 3 flashes, so going to be hard to dislodge that AWP from some of the lines as they move through the map. Keen to see what their approach is going to be. paiN burning a lot of util early, trying to keep control of the extremities. They've shut down that uppers rush if that was a possibility. They've secured long control, and now they can kind of settle and sit back and see where Imperial wants to make contact. Zevi tasked with holding down Cat. It's going to play anti-flash on the Guardian angle. And the Imperial very much taking their time here.
Yeah, Cello just having a bit of a cheeky peek. Not really going to see too much through those mid doors just yet. Quite passive on the T side, Imperial. They do like to wait that timer down.
Sizing up this A split. It's going to be late contact onto Skullz, who's going to try and multi-frag. They've done a great job dislodging Zevi from that Guardian position. But there's not many grenades here for the T side. They've got to hit some entries.
Yeah, just the one smoke right now in the back pocket. This push out on long, though, could be a very good one. Skullz quite isolated until Zevi gets across. He could well end up being a one and done, or maybe a none and done in the worst case scenario for paiN. Having seen Zevi drop now as well, really the onus now is on to Skullz to double down. He's got the first. He knows there's more coming, but the AWP is going to be too much to deal with. Even still, paiN all over the rest of the map are winning their duels. It's 3-on-2. It's looking okay for that CT side at the moment. And Imperial do have to pick the pace up. They've only got 15 seconds. How do they even cross CT? If not PKL, it's going to be hardzao or Bigu to finish this one off. There is a nice little kill in there from Fallen, but I think we all know which way this round is going to end up going. And it was exactly that direction. It was just a question of how many guns paiN were going to be able to retain.
Yeah, they killed him before time at least, so he gets the 2K. But it's a bit of a sting. That's a hard reset for Imperial. Even after they save, if they don't get bomb plant, they're going to have like this 4 to 4.5k kind of buy, like 4 to 5k. They're probably not going to have full util unless they go now to Galil's. They won't have an AWP. That's a great round from paiN Gaming. Imperial is just taking so long moving through the map that they're fighting the whole CT team. There's no cutting the map in half from Imperial at the moment. They take ages going up cat or going out long, and at that point, the whole team from paiN is rotated. They're very mobile on this CT side.
I think a good example of that is how many opportunities Zevi is finding in every single round. You're seeing him get a shot on long, then you're seeing him rotate into mid, get a shot on mid, then you're seeing him over towards B.
To rotate every part of the map is there, bro.
Yeah, so he's certainly having his opportunities, and some of them are connecting, some of them aren't, but by and large, it's going quite well for paiN.
I haven't seen this in a while. Very cheeky from Imperial, boosted Fur up onto this angle.
Unfortunately, not going to find too much, but again, paiN leaving that player in pit quite isolated. He's really going to need some assistance, or maybe not. Maybe he can get the job done himself. USP out is enough to actually catch Vinny. A 3k for Skullz. Yes, it's against pistols, but that's kind of what you need.
They threw the kitchen sink at him to get it done, and they only got one rifle out of it. paiN's perfectly happy with that. boltz looking to see if he could take any more guns away from the CTs. Their money is not too bad, but if they lose 2 or 3 more guns here, that's not going to be worth it. Zevi almost dying on the site there. Some great taps from boltz. And he's just trying to be annoying. He's just trying to make this expensive.
Well, I tell you what, he's not getting out of here, that's for sure. To have Bigu watching the exit to bedroom and 3 players on the side of A, so it's kind of a rock and a hard place type situation. Whichever way he does go, he's going to be running into some resistance.
Yeah, and this is just very sensible from paiN. Exactly like what you want to see. A nice little triangle set up. As soon as that player in CT makes contact, it's a double peek off the back of it. That's exactly how you want to get it done without losing extra guns.
Cool, calm, and collected, it seems like, on the paiN side of the player counts.
100%.
As you would be, up 6 and 3.
And you can see it in their gameplay too. They look quite composed. There's no panicking. They're rotating accordingly. They're playing well off of each other. They're trusting the setups, most of all. Yeah,
very few touch-and-go rounds in this map so far. It's just sort of felt like it's been, again, quite standard stuff. It hasn't really had to come down to any clutches or anything like that. And that's obviously working out really fantastically for paiN. He's going to try and pick the pace up, throw a spanner in the works, and maybe he'll think twice about doing that again. Skullz suffers much the same fate when he tries to do much the same thing. So maybe both teams look at that and say, hey, maybe let's just go back to that slower pace. Worked out a little bit better for us.
It's a 1-for-1 on long, which usually would indicate the teams would have long control, but in this case, paiN has it. They're very spread around the map. It's going to be reliant on individuals winning their duels and being positioned accordingly, because Zevi is still on cat. That's some great info for Imperial. Bigu well aware that, you know, he can't really just stick around on long, and if they go towards B, he's going to be well out of position, so he's making sure that he links up with his teammate. And here you see the one player spotting on tunnels. hardzao going to try and drop his smoke as the B contact comes in, but it's actually going to be Imperial starting to work their way towards middle. They've still got a fair bit of util.
Does look like the CTs have their units in the right positions, though. Obviously, Zevi watching to see if there's a short push. You've got a little bit of presence over on A, but nothing that is super necessary. Imperial are working their way up through mid rather than over toward long for the most part. And Zevi's already doing a good job of holding on to that. He's dropped the bomb as well. So there really has to be a commitment now from Imperial. And what can you do? You're running straight into an AWP. They don't have flashes. And they're just getting ripped apart one by one by one. Zevi, what a fantastic round that was. But you look at that and say, maybe it was a bit too easy.
Yeah, a little bit of a cheer from the crowd, but it looked a little bit too easy for him, you know? He's just reposting on angles, re-peeking cat, and Imperial is taking such a long time going anywhere. They repositioned from lower dark in towards mid at like 50 seconds left in the round, and they couldn't get up cat.
Well, back to the pistols for Imperial. Starting to feel like they're going to need a little bit of magic to get something going in this first half. They've got 3 rounds. It's not enough. Maybe around here, Deagles, for the most part, out on the Imperial side. If they can pull off a cheeky one here, really get that snowball going.
Yeah.
Bit of momentum.
They need to do some damage to this CT economy because it's getting out of control. Like all the boys, for the most part, up above 3k plus. Attacked in towards uppers, boltz. Oh, that was an opportunity. If he doubles up there, then the B side is completely open. In the meanwhile, look at this contact. It's a shooting gallery for Skullz.
Wow. That really was just like he was playing aimbots and having a crack.
That's like the guy who hops up on the little control panel in aimbots and crouches and just starts tapping on heads.
Tap.
Yep.
Headshot only.
Yeah, he's been doing that for a little while. Been one of the players as well, like coming up in Brazil, if you've been watching any of the qualifiers and stuff like that. Been really promising to watch. Very, very strong rifler coming out from there.
Yep. Well, slowly but steadily, we're working our way through this first half, and it sort of feels like at the moment, paiN is really just the one controlling everything. Every aspect of this game is going in their favor.
This is the first time where Imperial's got something done. They've gone towards long, but it's given up by paiN, who are changing things up. They're going for this mid setup. Zevi's posted on top mid. You got Bigu up on cat, and you got PKL taking contact on lowers. So Imperial, if they ever go and retake middle, this is going to be a big problem for them. The easiest thing they could do here is just go and take that A site and try to force it into a post plant. See if they can deal with the retake coming in.
That said, paiN, I think, are starting to cotton on to what might be occurring around the map. They haven't seen anything toward B. They haven't seen anything toward mid. They're thinking, well, where could Imperial possibly be? It's over toward A long, and you're starting to see the troops head in that direction to defend. Great flash from Fallen. Provides the entry onto the A site for Imperial, but it's very quickly traded back. Zevi forced away by the molly. Fallen now really starting to get some work done in this round, but even that is not enough. Skullz is getting so much more done. It's all Fallen right now, but back into the 2-on-2. Imperial, at the very least, are putting up a fight in this round, and boltz coming in through CT. Perhaps an unexpected angle could make the difference.
PKL creeping up on the site. boltz was in there all the way around B with the long con. PKL given an opportunity, drops the bomb and knows exactly where boltz is.
1-on-1 for PKL, takes the swing, and paiN can do no wrong. Another one goes their way, and just when you think there's a chance for Imperial, it's swept away from them. 2-on-1.
Thought boltz was going to get it done with that big long rotation around B side, but I mean, even the Imperial, they hit some good entries on the way in. Like those players on cat, both Zevi and Bigu, I think it was, they had full util. So they're holding all their util on that mid setup. If Imperial gets on that A site, they're going to start chucking mollies. They're going to start chucking nades and giving more time to rotations. But those quick headshots coming in straight up long definitely made the difference. Here's this big pop though.
Indeed, it's going to be a faster one out from Imperial this time around. Already some good spam coming through, doing the damage, but hardzao is the one cleaning it all up.
Oh.
Again, Imperial, every time they try to change the pace, it seems like it backfires, blows up in their face, and now, again, it's just Fallen left solo to try to do what he can. Oh, PKL might have got a bit overzealous with that spray, but he gets the CZ out anyway.
Oh, God. 10-3 for paiN Gaming. What a display on this CT side. Skullz 17-7.
Yep.
He's having a field day every gun round. This man is multi-fragging.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like this might be the quickest map of the day, actually. We've had some, for the most part, actually very tight games. I think there was that 16-4 in there earlier. So maybe we might not quite beat that, although we are still potentially on the trajectory to do so. But yeah, we've had actually some very, very tight games here at ESL Challenger so far, which has been really promising, I think, for the latter stages of the tournament. I mean, even when you're seeing teams like Vertex and Greyhound going down, they're taking it to double digits. They're taking it really to the sort of the nth degree. And that should provide for a pretty good game tomorrow as well. I think Vertex is one of those teams that you probably do look at as coming in as the underdogs, but they're quite a tenacious team. So they might be able to pull something interesting off. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. 10-3 right now, double digits for paiN, and really starting to ramp up on this CT side as it winds down. Double AWP setup for Imperial on the T side has actually worked out.
For the time being, they picked that long player, but this mid setup, PKL up close, able to pick that player in lowers.
That's a tough one to hit for Fallen, to be fair, but if he did, you'd think, hey, this double AWP setup's a bit of a masterstroke.
Yep. Imperial see PKL in middle. They know that that's got to be a mid setup after they pick that long player. They're going to start to reroute. They smoke the long corner and take full long control. And they still have 2 smokes to be able to smoke the cross and a little bit of util to try to work their way up onto A, but they're still running this double AWP. So that indicates to me they're going to take their time for a little bit, see if the CT is over-aggressive, if they can get some picks. And Zevi might be the one to make that happen for them, I suppose.
Zevi, he does feel a little prone to trying to look for info, trying to take these peaks a bit later on in the round. We've seen it quite a few times, and it has cost him a little bit. Smoke does go out on the side itself, which is really going to be preventing him from doing that, but he's able to jump up and over, and boltz not really expecting that angle, does go down. Here's another opportunity, and maybe even one more headed in his direction. Fallen feeling balls. He wants to take to the challenge. So far, so good for paiN, but eventually Fallen has been able to find his man. Still a numbers advantage on that CT side, but bomb plan is going down.
Yeah, look at hardzao on the long flank all the way around towards long. The longer paiN by time, the more likely this man's going to have some success. Both teams starting to fight towards Gandalf.
Oh, it's going to be the 1-2 punch here from paiN, is it not? Bigu on the peak.
Beautiful.
And hardzao to clean it up from long. It just felt like a little bit too strong of a crossfire for paiN to lose that round.
paiN are happy about that. I can hear him screaming. They're loving it.
Yeah.
Big round. Having a hell of a CT side, has to be said.
Yeah, it's looking like a 12-3, isn't it?
Yep. Imperial that round, I mean, they got that long pick. The double AWP on the T side, it was an interesting one.
Yeah.
But again, taking a very, very long time, kind of making their way up long. The flashes not really staggered up over car. Like, Zevi gets so many opportunities around the smoke. He throws that one way. He's kind of playing around it very, very well. He's picking players as they're coming up long. And I think Vinny or someone else had a couple of flashes, at least one. Could have, you know, staggered that over car.
Well, hopefully Imperial can get something done right at the 11th hour and push this to an 11-4. Give themselves a fighting chance at the end of the half. Has not started well at all. PKO and Skullz already chiming in with a killer piece, and that leaves Imperial with only 3. They are being outclassed all over the map. And that is just one step better as well. This grenade might clean Fallen up. He's down to 8 HP. Lucky to be alive. Scared of what's behind him. Drops a molly behind. There's a molly in front. He can't go anywhere. It's all done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. This is most certainly going to be a 12-3 first half. Cello, he could try to pull off the impossible, and with shots like that, maybe there's a chance, but I'm still giving him only the 1% right now. paiN have been really good in these XVXs, and that is why. 12-3 at the end of the first half. paiN on an absolute rampage in the Brazilian derby.
It's when the morning glows, I cannot hide myself from you. It's when my feeling grows, I'm coming back to you. When I step out, when I step out, when I step out, when I step out of the light, I come into the light. I will be happy, happy, happy. How could was unspoken. Shout it out above. When I step out of the
Welcome back to ESL Challenger at DreamHack Melbourne. Right now, it is paiN Gaming and Imperial Esports going head-to-head in the Brazilian derby for a progression slot. And it sort of feels as though we might be getting a pretty quick game here. 12-3 in the first half, Pilski. It's set paiN up for success.
Cello's in lowers. Has an opportunity to get some information, maybe dismantle this round a little bit as paiN slowly make their way down there.
Well, we did see how this worked out for paiN when they ran this position on their CT pistol, though it was with the dual Berettas. I'm not sure that the USP is going to be as effective. We'll find out. Oh, maybe I was wrong. A double from Cello is exactly what Imperial need to start this half off. But they're going to need to still do a bit of work to get this one over the line. Luckily, boltz has B on lock, and Fur is watching A long. So paiN, a bit of a split pick kind of pistol strategy, has not worked out.
Yeah, tried to throw that B fake. They threw the dribble smoke or the progression smoke out of B tunnels and one to doors. They tried to double nade the player back plat. It seemed like they were well aware of how Imperial like to set up on their CT side pistol. Trying to play around that. PKL, a couple pop shots onto Fallen, but that's all a big distraction for Fur to surely come and sideswipe PKL here. Couple of missed shots.
Whoa, that's not a bad one. Start off the 1-on-4, but he's still got plenty to do before we start to get a little too excited. Smoke down, but he gets in front of it, even still decides to just send it into CT, and boltz says, no, thank you very much.
Hello, boltz.
I'll have no door-to-door salesman rocking up at my house.
Wanted to go buy
even
the
if it is a
CT
small
guns. Well, that was a must-win pistol for Imperial.
Yeah, indeed.
And it's gone well for them. Cello well aware in lowers. If he overextends there, running into the two Ts, then that could definitely fall apart pretty quickly. But Imperial well all over that. He got a nice shot from Fallen. There is actually no force here outside of that one scout on Zevi from paiN. So no second round force from them, probably because they didn't get the bomb plant. Want to try to play for round number 18 and get AKs and a little bit of util. Aggression up mid here from Fur. He loves the bit of a push up middle.
It's going to be running into PKL. Ideally, he's only just got the Glock, so shouldn't be too much of a threat right now, but paiN is starting to rotate their way across. Fur on offer for that scout. Would have had to have been a fantastic shot. Not going to happen this time, and Fur almost puts on the masterclass. Gets 4 before being eventually overrun, but that's more than acceptable from Imperial.
It's good stuff from Imperial as well. You saw them just towards the end of the round there, juggling that A1S back to Fallen, who's going to recycle out the scout. So they only lose a scout and armor out of that, a little bit of grenades. It's a pretty nice anti-eco, all things considered. And paiN now heading into round number 18, going to go for their first T-side gun round. Zevi on towards the scout, so not going for Mach 10 on the hard entry duties. Indicates that they might go for a bit of a slower approach, but they're going to go straight for long control.
Going to be contested for it as well. Imperial and paiN both headed in that direction. It was a contest we saw quite often when the tables were turned and when paiN was on their CT side.
Look at this, Imperial, so much info right now. They clear out all of uppers. They've got a player over towards car there. paiN, not too much util, no Molotov to clear that out, but he's actually just going to peek for him. And look at this absolute slaughter there for paiN over towards long A. They didn't have any util to really get across to the site. You know, they had 2 smokes and maybe a flash over the top. Big util disadvantage, but they win all the duels.
Yep, indeed, contact play. It works out for paiN, and they get another one over the smoke. Hardzao spotting the head of Cello. This round has just capitulated, hasn't it? It looked great for Imperial. They had the perfect setup. They had 3 players defending long. They had the info on B, and they lost.
That's just one of those rounds of CS where you freeze frame it, and you say, who's going to win this round? And you say, look, CT's had full info. They got all the util. They got a great position. And then that fight on long happens, and it goes 3 for 1 for paiN, and it's a completely different round.
CS analysts hate him.
Yeah. Man
Not a
with
fun
gun.
time.
Man with gun, go shoot head.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty much the round that Imperial couldn't really afford.
No. Yeah, that's the round you want to see them close down, because they're going up against arguably an easier buy than paiN are going to throw at them later on in the half, where they have more util, where they maybe have an AWP. Imperial now have to take a single say. That's a bit of a messy spray from Zevi. He's going to lose his A1S top mid, but that's not really something Imperial can recover for the time being.
Not going to worry Skullz either. He's been having a fantastic map thus far, and he's just going to continue to charge forward on that T side. Looks like he's the man with a master plan. He's the point man. And he is sending it into those bomb sites with reckless abandon, really. He's been backed up nicely, this time by hardzao. Double kill for him, and Fallen actually dies to the molly as well. So it's the cherry on the cake at the moment for paiN, and I think it's looking like this is going to be wrapped up pretty quickly. paiN really are just not missing a beat, and Imperial, unfortunately, are giving them too many opportunities.
That's actually a bit of a thorn in the side of Imperial's util this round, to lose that rifle, because Cello's only got 3.3. So he might have to go down to an MP9 or FAMAS or something. He actually buys full armor as well. So not much util for Cello at all. I'm not sure which position he plays on this map, but if he's like the B anchor or something like that, that's going to be a big issue. Wouldn't be bad to juggle him a couple of pieces of util. 14 and 5 for paiN though now. AWP on Zevi. There's the smoke for the cross. And
well, that's already one important piece of util going to be expended by Imperial.
oh, Fallen finds the first pick though. It's going to be big for Imperial. They need to make sure they can convert this position. paiN, they've been locked out of long. And they're doing exactly what you'd expect them to do in the 4-on-5, going towards middle, maybe crack a mid to be in the 4-on-5 and try to make things work.
I do enjoy the fearlessness that paiN is playing their T-side with. They don't seem to be shying away from any of the duels. You just see them walk out mid there and see what's going to happen. Obviously, nothing just yet, but Bigu, if this flash is able to connect, it's going to be a great start. No, he hasn't landed the spray onto Fallen, who will be able to back away, get the smoke down, survives. Not going to make the same mistake twice and die to the molly. What a shot, though, from Bigu. And Zevi's found another one. This is unbelievable.
This is exactly what you do when you're 4v5 on Dust2. You just cut the map in half. You go for a mid to B. If you can catch that player rotating from the A side of the map, then you get yourselves a pick. If you cut the map in half, you're still 4v2ing on B unless the CTs can flood through the smoke or progress up short.
And it's exactly what Imperial wasn't doing on their T-sides when they had the advantages. They would really slow things down. They'd let paiN play their own game on the CT side and kind of get away with a little bit of bloody murder. But Imperial now, they're not really getting away with anything. And again, it sort of still feels like paiN actually are the ones getting away with a little bit, right? They lose the opening pick. They still win the round a couple of times in a row. Yeah, Vinny's going to get the better of Zevi there, but what does it matter at this point? paiN's going to be on map point.
Yeah, and CT side comebacks are so difficult, because especially if you're dropping extra guns along the way and you're not keeping your economy nice and strong, you're going to be skipping pieces of util, and it feels like it's only a matter of time a lot of the time. Looks like Fallen going to be able to hold on to the AWP. paiN throwing the kitchen sink, and Imperial just trying to take every gun out of their hands if they could, and they got 2 of them. Only the AWP retained, so it's going to be one of these weird CT buys. Maybe Fallen drops a rifle across to somebody, but the rest of the boys, I mean, FAMAS armor, MP9, some util. This buy does not fill you with confidence if you love Imperial.
No, certainly not. I mean, this could well be the final round of the best of ones here at ESL Challenger. Right after this, we'll be heading into a best of 3 to kick those off. Should be pretty fun. But let's see what Imperial can do first. Is there maybe a world where they can hold on to this one off the back of Fallen's AWP? Sort of feels like that's where it's going to have to come from.
Oh,
really
see you
in the
later,
right
Vinny.
place.
Oh my God. What a shot from Zevi. Fer trying to challenge in the open. It's 4v5. He wants to try to make something happen, but look at the flash.
Yeah, it's all going wrong for Imperial at the moment. I mean, look, Fallen has actually got a couple of kills there. Maybe that was even a collat. Didn't see it from his perspective. Regardless, 3 on 2, a couple of MP9s left to hold on for this CT side. No util to speak of, no defuse kits. You're going up against AKs, AWPs, and paiN have been having a phenomenal day so far. It's not really going to end very well for Imperial, is it, ladies and gentlemen? We all knew which way this one was going to go. 16-5, the way of paiN, and they'll progress through to the semi-finals. Unfortunately for Imperial, that does mean they go down into the lower bracket, but not the end of the world. They will still have a second life.
That was just clinical from paiN. Like, they played everything by the numbers. They were holding util on the CT side. Even in that last round in the 3-on-2, they don't rush over to long and try to get into the post plant straight away. They're holding mid control, waiting to see if they can punish those